I would like to call to order the council meeting for July 2nd of 2019. If we could all please stand for a moment of silence in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady, Valerie Scott Cooper, Hakeem Jones, Derek Perry, Rebecca Smith, here. Heather Lewis, Sonia Sanders.
Here. Would a member of council like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 18th of 2019? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. The meeting workshop minutes are approved and passed. Earlier this evening, we did not have an executive session. Next order of business we have are the presentations, and we will first begin with the Norristown Area School District Hero Proclamation. Mr. Jones, you want to give us a brief summary?
All right, there you go. Thank you, Madam President. Council, as you are aware, Mr. Angel Crawford has gained some renown in town over the last few weeks and months or so in terms of a heroic deed he undertook in saving his young friend, a fellow school member, from actually being hit by an automobile and avoiding a certain tragedy. And we know that we were made aware of this through a video that had been done through the school kids news program. Once council heard about it, council thought it was a great idea that he be recognized by the officials of the government as well. And as such, council has put together a proclamation on his behalf. And Madam President, if you want to read it or if you want me, I'll be happy to do it.
Okay. So, Mr. Jones, I would like to take the honor of reading a proclamation and calling Angel Crawford to the floor. Evening, so
that's not right there. I thought that was a young man in the video. Mr. Crawford.
And is Mr. Crawford here? No.
Okay. Oh, that was him.
So at this time, the Norristown Municipal Council applauds acts of the heroism by its residents, and whereas Angel Crawford is a student of Eisenhower Science and Technology Leadership Academy, and whereas upon crossing at the intersection on Markley Street, Angel Crawford saved fellow student Stephen Mitchell from getting hit by a vehicle. And it is where it is important to recognize selfless acts of bravery and quick thinking demonstrated by Angel Crawford. And whereas the Norristown Municipal Council encourages children to be safe when crossing the street and to not use cell phones while crossing. Now, therefore, the Municipal Council of Norristown joins the community as it proclaims Angel Crawford as a hero in the community of Norristown and proclaims this second day of July of 2019, Angel Crawford Day in Norristown, 2019. So here's the proclamation that Angel will be receiving this summer. So thank you. The next presentation we have was originally supposed to be the Norristown Code Enforcement. However, at this time, I would like to move the Dragon Boat presentation up. So if I could please have a member or representative from the Dragon Boat Club, please take the floor.
This work? Hello, hello? Hello, hello? Oh, that's right, I can yell. I can yell, it's fine. Well, Madam President, I must say I am learning something from you, because in my 2 years of presidency in the Rotary Club, I have never run such an organized meeting as you. So, kudos for that. All right, so we are the Dragon Boat Club. I am the director and head coach of the team. We have been in Norristown for 6 years, and most of you probably don't even know that we're there. We're down on Halls Avenue, and we've been there, like I said, 6 years and still trying to get people out. So Heather and I are working on an event for August 17th down at the park called Family and Fun Day. And we will also have an introduction to dragon boating. So whatever Heather and I put together, it'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure, and I hope to see you all. So I just want to take a few minutes so you can meet this team that you don't really know anything about. So can I have you all? As you can see, the age in the team runs from, how old are you? 9 to, I don't know what. Well, I'm 65, so at least 65. Okay, so we have all the adults on the team here. The youth. We have about 10 youth. You need 20 to have a full boat, so we're working on it. Right now, they have to paddle with the adults. And when we go to the start line, everybody kind of dismisses us because we have these little kids in the boat. But I'll tell you what, they can paddle good. I know Norristown has had an awful lot of good athletes going on this year with the track team and the basketball team, and I know that. But I have to say that I think in all my years of doing a little bit of athletics, these youth have worked harder than anybody I know. The Team USA youth have been working for over 2 years to do this. So you see our youth, all of our adults, our supporters, step forward. They're the parents, obviously. Okay, so I'd like to introduce the coach that coached the Team USA mostly, and the Team USA. Can you come up? So they will be going out to California next week, yes?
Yeah.
They're not done really kind of testing yet. So they have two times, right? And then August something, they head to Thailand.
14th.
August 14th. So we have Kevin Brown, who is their coach, Charlie, Michael, and Sophia. Kevin, you want to say anything?
I won't keep it long because they all know I can talk a lot, but just real quick, for those of you who don't know about Team USA, so every 2 years they form Team USA. They pick the best of the best out of the United States. So they actually had to go out to California. They had to try out against all the youth from the United States. And they're only taking about 24 per boat. So they were selected out of maybe 48 kids is all that's going over. Once they go over there, they're representing us. They will be competing against Asia. They're going to be getting against Italy, Germany. So they are actually representing the United States for us in their category, which is 18 and under. The other remarkable part for us, anybody who's up to 18 can compete for that team. Our youth are about 14 years old. So they beat out other kids who are 4 years older than them in their power. So we are definitely very proud of them.
So in addition to what Kevin said, and you know that we are oh so proud of these young people, not only are they representing Team USA, they are representing Norristown, this little tiny dragon boat in this small community that most of the people don't really even know we're here. So I think that is really cool, and I think that's a great accomplishment, and I hope to see more people out and paddle, and that's it. Okay,
Robin, Just a quick question. In terms of participation, are you sending out registration forms to all of the school districts?
Well, Sonia, we've been in Eisenhower. We've been there. And, I thought maybe there'd be 10 kids in the auditorium, and it was packed. The first year we got 1. Did we get any this year? And this year we got 1. We are trying to promote a sport that nobody really knows anything about. Or you hear, I have to get in shape. Well, when is that going to be? Or it's just like them saying they have to get in shape to go to the gym. You have to get in the boat. And there's different levels. You can be a community level, or you can be a little higher, or you can try to be a national person. It's what you want. We are working on, of course, building the youth team and the adult team, but we're working on a survivor team as well. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, and we're hoping that Norristown can help us a little bit, not monetarily, just with getting the word out there. Just can you help us do that? But yes, Sonia, talked with Mr. Dormer and Mr. Roth, and they're trying everything they can do to help me.
Councilwoman Brady.
Thank you so much for doing what you're doing down at Riverfront Park. For your events that you have, or various different meets, would it be possible for you to let us know so that we can post it on the municipal website? And I know that many of us on council have personal Facebook pages that we post things on as well. So that's one way we can help you get the word out.
Okay.
If you help us and let us know when these events are, and maybe point them to your Facebook page or any other kind of social media that you have, that will be a good way for us to help you get the word out and make sure that people know more about dragon boating.
We do team buildings, and I know you're going to choke me, Chief, for this, but we're really trying to get the police out there against another police department. And he didn't really bite on that yet. But I have talked with some of the guys in the sheriff's department, and they are interested. So on August 17th, when we have the Family Fun Day and introduction to dragon boating, I'm hoping we can have some of that because that'll draw the people. And once you get out there, you're going to see it, and you're going to say, oh, no way. But yes, you can. You can. So Chief's going to help me with that a little bit.
I think it was 2 years ago that you were the dragon boaters were helping participate in the Sojourn. Was it 2 years or 3 years?
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
We did it for 3 years.
Yeah.
I went on that, and I had a great time.
Oh, then did you see
that was my first time ever in a dragon boat.
Did you see our motorcycle boat?
Really are strong, because I wasn't able to do the whole amount. But
well, we went out one year, and they just soaked us. They just loved it. So the next year, we're going to get them. So we did a boat that looked like a motorcycle boat. And on the back of it, it had a pump that we could somehow finagle, and we shot water at them. They didn't think it was quite as fun.
Councilman Jones.
Good evening, Robin and team. I've actually had a great time following the Dragon Boat program. At one point, we didn't have many activities going on down in the waterfront. I think you guys have been the driving force behind getting that place cleaned up. I remember, the trailer falling out into the river one time. I remember vandal. You guys have been through a lot with the program, but I do see, your Dragon Boat Club introducing our kids to recreation that hasn't happened on the waterfront. So we'll always continue to support it. And thank you.
That container going down the river was the most exciting, stressful, fun thing I've ever seen in my life. But we got it back up, and it's working fine now. So, and as far as the park goes, we work very hard to help Norristown keep that park clean. And the men, which we call our Riverfront Rangers, also help a lot. Not only with keeping the park clean, but there was a couple times when the boats were floating down the river, and they went to get them. They have helped me out a lot, and it's working. It's working down there. Don't you agree, guys? Yeah. So we love them, and I think they love us. and it's fun to be down there. It's hard to get people in the park, but we're managing to get some in there. Good?
So I would like to say good luck, have a safe trip, represent Norristown well, do us proud. Thank you. And
We'll come
Robin,
back
thank
with
you
some
so
bling
much
bling.
for
So-
your years of commitment.
You're all going to be out soon? I knew you were. I'll see you out on the river. Oh, Derek, you were out once. But you only went in and out rigger canoe.
But just to give a shout out to Michael John, who is a good friend of my son's. I'm so proud of you. Look how big you got. Thank you. Keep up the good work, man. And I just took a picture of you. Every time Derek sees your name or your face, he cries because he misses you. So hopefully we'll get you two in contact with each other again.
I'm keeping him. Can't have him.
Yeah, I know, Mom. I see you. I seen you back there.
Well, it's been really fun trying to get this group organized in Norristown. Challenging, frustrating, but it's been fun. And the youth that we have, we are very blessed to have these youth. They are great. They just do whatever you tell them. Isn't that nice? That's more than my kids did. That's more than I do. But they are. They were really good. And the supporters are good. So Kevin coached them, and he coached them hard. But everybody on this team helped to support this youth to get where they're going. So I am very proud of all of them. So I'm done, and I'll see you all soon on the water.
So the last of the presentations that we have will be from the Norristown Code Enforcement Program Accreditation. And that would be driven by Mr. Singh.
Thank you, Madam President. So I wanted to share with everyone regarding the Code Enforcement Program accreditation that our municipality is participating in. The American Association of Code Enforcement is the agency, the national organization that actually created this accreditation process for code enforcement departments. So the American Association of Code Enforcement, ACE, is a national nonprofit association representing the profession of code enforcement. ACE was founded in 1988 by representatives from 5 states and now represents all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and Canada. ACE is the only association representing housing, property maintenance, and zoning officials in the United States. Its members are employed by cities, towns, parishes, counties, and state government for the enforcement of housing, property maintenance, and zoning ordinances intended to provide minimum standards for the protection of public health, safety, and welfare. The association's mission is to educate, elevate, and improve the profession of code enforcement. So this association has a code enforcement accreditation program. This is a first nationally recognized accreditation program solely for code enforcement agencies. The accreditation standards have been developed to set forth requirements for obtaining and maintaining ACE accreditation for agencies responsible for enforcement of codes and ordinances, laws, or statutes relating to health, safety, and welfare within their jurisdictions. These standards are intended to ensure a uniform level of service and level of professionalism with all accredited code agencies, thereby increasing the community's confidence in the policies and practices of an agency and the overall code enforcement profession. Code agencies can operate in confidence that their operations have been reviewed by a formal third party and have demonstrated that they are competent. The standards have been developed to apply to both large and small departments and to keep costs affordable for all enforcement agencies. This program ensures that minimum standards are maintained as well as acknowledges jurisdictions that exceed standards and that strive to be leaders in this industry. This also increases effectiveness of a department and improves customer service. The standards of accreditation are the principles of quality by which the ACE and its accreditation committee determines whether an agency merits accreditation. The standards of accreditations are guiding principles for code agencies. These standards have been developed by members of ACE and adopted by the directors of ACE and the accreditation committee. To obtain this accreditation, code enforcement departments must successfully complete and submit an accreditation application packet, which is reviewed by the ACE accreditation committee. The application packet includes the application, along with providing information and supporting documents requested for review to confirm that the department meets the 59 accreditation standards. The accreditation standards review how a department operates and evaluates policies and procedures for functions such as general operations, personnel, case processing, punitive actions, inspections, codes and ordinances, and hearings and appeals. Once the application packet and supporting documents are found to meet the standards of accreditation, the Code Enforcement Department is issued the accreditation certificate. The accreditation is valid for 5 years as long as the annual reports are submitted as required and the department remains in compliance with all program requirements. So I am proud to share with everybody that our Department of Buildings and Code Enforcement has attained accreditation from ACE for its code enforcement program. And not only have we obtained this accreditation, we are actually the first code enforcement program in the state of Pennsylvania to have this accreditation. We did have the president of the American Association of Code Enforcement. He gave some statements for us to share with council. I'm just going to read the first one, and I believe Mr. Jones and Gabriella are working on putting together a press release and updating the website to add all of this information on here. But Mr. Calvin Bean, who's the president of American Association of Code Enforcement, said that this is the first nationally recognized accreditation program solely for code enforcement agencies. And the municipality of Norristown is the first in Pennsylvania and the second in the country to receive this distinguished recognition, the city of Plano, Texas being the first. The Norristown code enforcement staff should be proud that they are among the first agencies in the country to demonstrate they are operating at a high level and setting standards for others to follow. In addition, this accreditation provides verification to its stakeholders of Norristown that their code enforcement program is in compliance with established standards and practices. I just wanted to share that this achievement of getting accredited, it was a team effort with all of our employees and team members in the codes department, as well as the support from council and Mr. Jones. All of those meetings that we've had, all of those discussions, the conversations on making sure that we are taking our department and following and working towards the vision and goals that the administration and council has. This is what helped get us to that point, as well as our team making so many changes in our department over the last year. A lot of updates, a lot of new systems and processes. Everything's more detailed, more organized. And, you know, it was a bit of a culture change, but the whole department saw what the benefits were of getting this accreditation and increasing our operations effectiveness, the quality of customer service we're providing. So I thank everyone for being on board and getting to make these changes and put this program together. So instead of going through all of the slides here, I'm going to go to the second to last slide here to share what's next with the codes department. So we have our code enforcement program, which is accredited, and the next step that we're going to work on is getting our building department division accredited. So that is actually through the IAS, the International Accreditation Service. And if we are able to get our building department accredited, that is going to be extremely important for the municipality as well. One of the benefits of having an accredited building department is going to be that we can actually help increase our ISO rating of the municipality. Currently, we're at a level 3, and if we are able to get this done, I'm working with Mr. Jones and Chief O'Donnell. If we're able to implement the best practices and follow the policies and procedures and the guidelines that the national IAS has put together for building departments, it will actually help us move to an ISO rating level 2, which is actually going to help property owners in Norristown with insurance premiums. It will significantly lower their insurance premiums. Plus, it would also help us provide a higher level of customer service and also, eliminate the perception of red tape that a lot of people have, that building departments and code departments are red tape and they're just trying to make it harder. But this will actually show with our code enforcement program being accredited, and in the future, our building department hopefully will be accredited as well. It'll show that we're here to help facilitate growth and development in Norristown, and we're not here to, stop it. And the next update is going to be in the next couple months here, coming before council will be a comprehensive code and ordinance update, including the creation of our Norristown Building Safety, Property Maintenance, and Housing Code. So that's going to be here in the next couple months. And another project that I'm working with Mr. Jones is hopefully by the end of next year, this will be fully implemented. We'll have a 24/7 e-government and customer service portal. Pretty much it will help property owners and contractors and anyone doing business with Norristown apply for permits, licenses, rental registration, property transfers online, schedule appointments, schedule inspections, pay for any fees related to department operations. And if you're a property owner, you'll actually, like for example, a rental property owner, you will actually be able to have your online account and see what violations are currently present at your property, what invoices are present, and be able to deal with all of those type of items. So pretty much we're looking to make it easier for everyone to do business with the Norristown Codes Department, and we're just going to continue to keep working hard and working towards council and administration's goals and vision, and keep doing everything that we can to make it easier. We actually have the accreditation certificate from the American Association of Code Enforcement, and I have some of our team members here from the Codes Department. Unfortunately, not every staff member was able to make it today, but we do have about half of our team here, and we were hoping to take a picture with Mr. Jones and all of council with our certificate here, because I believe this is really going to help our department and also help our constituents in the future as far as dealing with us and also getting things taken care of. And so that's pretty much all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for doing a terrific job. When you first arrived to Norristown, I remember one of the first comments I made is that you actually had a tough job ahead of you. And I also wanted to let you know that council had its goals, and at that day, as a matter of fact, as of day one, you actually promised to meet council's goal, and I believe you exceeded those goals, and I wish you continued luck with your staff. So continue to keep doing a great job.
Thank you, Madam President. It's all because of my team that we are able to get to where we are today, so thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments from council? Mr. Perry?
Yeah, definitely want to keep saying, kudos to you and staff. I know it probably wasn't easy getting to where we at, and we all have a hand in this. Once again, we all have a hand in this no matter what. We live here, we want to play here. We don't want to hear the complaints. We just want to get the work done, and then everything works smoothly. But kudos to you guys for working hard, doing what you need to do. And thank you once again, because I know we had many conversations, but this is big. And you know what? Can't wait to start putting it out on Facebook and really get everything, going. Like, this is great, man. Thanks. Appreciate it, everybody.
Councilwoman Brady?
Thank you. So a number of years ago, when I had an opportunity to speak to somebody who was in charge of a municipality that had gone through great improvements over a significant period of time. But one of the things that that person told me was that the first step in getting improvement in a municipality is getting their codes department in order. You, Mr. Singh, have done that in spades. So I really appreciate all the stuff that you've done. Congratulations on your accreditation. I look forward to a much more excellence in the department. Not that it's not excellent right now, but thank you for everything you did. I think you're really helping Norristown to move forward in making great strides. Thank you.
Councilman Jones?
I just wanted to echo my fellow colleagues and just say thank you as well. We communicate pretty often. Some of the major concerns that come our way are a variety of things: tall weeds and grass, which you've been very responsive with, swimming pools and water that's breeding grounds for mosquitoes. That's another large amount of calls we get. You guys respond really heavily. Hoarding, landlord-tenant issues, and permits. You've created a system that's in place that really holds people accountable when it comes to doing work, opening and closing orders. So we've definitely took note of what you're doing in our department, and it is showing. Whether people think so or not, it is showing that you guys are moving this town forward.
I'll say it again, second in the nation. But again, thank you. And thank you to the staff as well.
Madam President, may I have the staff approach? That way we can take our group picture.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Right, hey.
Then you can't see. Thank you very much.
So next order of business we have are the announcements. Vice President Lewis, are you ready?
Thank you. The announcements for July 2nd, 2019, the Norristown's 4th of July celebration will take place this Thursday, starting with a parade at 9:45 a.m., block party on Main Street from 10:30, party in the park at 3, and live concerts at 4. The fireworks will begin at dusk, and you can find all of the details at norristown.org. The summer concert series is well underway. This week, or this Sunday coming up, Elvis impersonator Dean Garofalo. The show will start at 7 p.m. The Norristown Police, Fire, and Recreation Department have teamed up for Play Streets. Next up is July 17th on the 1000 block of Willow Street, and July 19th on the 600 block of Lafayette Street from 12 to 4. Trials on Tap begins July 31st through August 4th at Riverfront Park with kayaking, biking, pop-up beer garden, and food trucks. You can visit Trials. Well, there's a typo. Wait a minute. Trails. It should be Trails. I'm going to get Gabriella. Trails on Tap. So the website is Trails, TrailsONTAP.com for details. I'm going to look through my stack. Any other council members have announcements? Councilwoman Brady?
Over the weekend, I had an opportunity to attend the sustainability conference that was sponsored by Ready for PA, which is part of the Sierra Club. And as part of the agenda they had was to give a certificate to those municipalities that had adopted the Ready for 100 resolution, which we did on April 2nd. So we were given this certificate. It says on here that we are the fifth municipality in Montgomery County to adopt the resolution and 117th municipality in the country. And considering the 19,000 municipalities in the United States, that's quite an achievement. This, however, isn't the start of our sustainability. We are working on a sustainability plan, and part of this, Ready for 100, looking for 100% renewable energy by 2050, is to identify renewable energy sources through Pennsylvania and also to assist our residents in becoming more sustainable. One of the things I'd like to see us do is to look at our codes and see how prepared we are for certain control accounts and the like. So there's more to come on this issue. I'm very pleased to accept the certificate on behalf of the municipality of Norristown. Thank you.
Councilman Jones?
I wanted to share 2 summer camp resources here in Norristown. The first summer camp that's starting next week on July 8th is the Camp Youth Challenge at Christ Church. It's STEM activities, nutrition, arts and crafts, recreational activities for grades 5 through 8. Christ Church is at 1003 West Marshall Street in Norristown. The point of contact is Yvette Madden, and she can be reached at 610-322-1573. Another free camp resource that starts next week is the George Washington Carver Center is also having a summer camp. To contact them, they can be reached at 610-272-7480.
Councilman Perry?
Yes, thanks. Central Monco Technical High School is hosting a summer grab-a-day activity camp. It's hands-on instructional training in cosmetology, culinary arts, auto tech and collision, science, visual arts, construction, networking and computers, public safety, and landscape design. The cost is free. All you would have to do is bring your own lunch. This is for middle schoolers. I'm not sure if it starts from 5th grade on up to 8th grade, but you would contact www.cmths.org or call 610-277-2301 for more information to register. They have 3 camps, one from July 9th to the 11th, one from July 16th to the 18th, and one from July 23rd to the 25th, and it's from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Any other announcements? Oh, Councilwoman Smith.
There will be a discussion on education and diversity in Norristown Area School District on Thursday, July 18th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at Norristown Public Library. There will be free food, guest speakers, and more. You can RSVP at nwhy.eventbrite.com or email nmoe19401@gmail.com.
Any other announcements? That concludes this evening's announcements.
Thank you, Vice President Lewis.
Madam Secretary, do we have any public comments this evening?
Yes, we do. Anthony Urick?
Testing. Good evening. Address, right? 101 Rosemont Avenue, Anthony Urick. How are we doing? I'm going to break this up into 3 parts. I'm going to try to be quick. Can everyone hear me? I'm going to take that as a yes. I wanted to give thanks first to the parties involved. You know who you are. Regarding the apron that was repaired on Washington, and regarding the gas main that was repaired the entire length of Rosemont Avenue. The gas line has now been finished. Everything is now connected to each particular house. So thank you. Second part, touch-ups. In regards to the apron, I don't know if there was a further inspection, but there is some cracking taking place at the base closest to the road. I don't know if there could be a minor grading or just coming through with a diamond saw to sort of smooth that to prevent the further cracking. I hate to see all the hard work that was done go to waste because of one small spot that just keeps spreading. So I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. And then part 3 would be further progress. Obviously the road, Rosemont Avenue, is torn up even more than before when I had originally mentioned it. I'm not sure if the repaving of that was specifically going to be done by a PICO worker or PICO subcontractor. I don't know if Susan Ryan would have to be contacted again. I know that they did have to access the actual sidewalk portions of some residents' homes, which are now filled with asphalt where previously it was concrete. From speaking with another neighbor, one of the, I believe the subcontractor was utility line workers or utility line company, said that at some point they were going to be fixing those sidewalk spots, and some spots were actually on the patios of some of the residents. So I wanted to bring that to public light because I'm not exactly sure who is specifically in charge of dealing with that, but the road is substantially worse but safer. I took a walk today. I smelled no gas. So at least we're not exploding anymore. Part 3, this was something that I had brought up August last year of thermoplastic at the intersection of Hart Ramp and Main Street. That particular crosswalk is relatively difficult to see, and I didn't know if the summer was the best time for that to be done. There are curb cuts at that crosswalk, which will lead into my next part. The intersection of Rosemont and Washington still does not have handicapped ADA compliant curb cuts. Seems like most of Norristown does. That intersection somehow got missed out. I have old women coming to my door talking about religion or whatever it may be, walking with a cane, and they have to step down the full-size curb. And I fear for their safety because obviously it's not an issue as I am younger, but I believe that is an ADA compliance issue. And lastly, while we were speaking of codes, I may have our first update here. As under trees along public ways, subsection 295-3, notice to trim and maintain trees and failure to comply, there is a 20-day period after notice of which compliance must be held. However, under Shade Tree Commission Trees, Rules, and Regulations, subsection 82-4, hazardous trees, there is no particular timeline. So potentially, if there's a tree, limb, or branch that's in my way, and I have to kind of dodge out of the way, that has a 20-day timeline. But if 4-foot long, 6-inch wide branches or 8-foot long branches, which I've seen, come down, no timeline is applied in that particular code. So while we're on the topic of codes, I'd say that would be an excellent one to start with. And I believe that includes everything. If anyone had anything to say.
One, I would say thank you for your time, and thank you for acknowledging the staff and doing a job, but we're not quite done as of yet, because as you mentioned, you were here last August. So I'm going to point you to Mr. Odenibo as well as Mr. Singh after the meeting, so they can have a separate discussion with you in terms of completing or repairing those other items that you've mentioned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jim Waters.
Before we move on, I have a comment.
Oh, sorry.
Sir. I'll talk to you after. Thank you.
Mr. Waters?
Good evening, use my outside voice. Good evening, everyone. The last time I was here, I was talking about my concerns for Riverfront Park. And in reality, it started back in 2017 when we did the big cleanup with the Schuylkill scrub, and I was with the watershed. I apologize for not doing any cleanups in 2018 because the river was twice as high as it ever was, and it almost looks like it's doing the same thing this year. But what I wanted to bring to you was the how would you say it, the loosely knit Friends of Riverfront Park and some of the things that need to be addressed down there. Actually, I took pictures of them and didn't have time to get to Crendel, so I'll just bring them out to you right now. One of the things that was installed after the 2017 cleanup was a chain link fence on the upstream side of Barbados Island Bridge. Someone has pried that open, and apparently people are going in and out of there. Now, we had one heck of a mess there to clean up, and I think that the gate needs to be secured better. Who is in charge of that? You don't have to answer that now. That's what I need to know. There's also another issue with erosion, sediment that's washing out across the road and down into the ramp, creating unsavory conditions. The runoff, apparently, from the looks of the gravel, is coming from the bike path. Now, I haven't gone and researched it, but I've seen it over the years, and this is the first time I had a chance to bring it to light. Now, I can see that after heavy rains that a backhoe is pushed the gravel and everything back up against the bank. I believe that needs to be addressed. Now, my guess is because PICO owns the right-of-way, it would be them that would be addressed by that, unless the borough wants to be, or the municipality wants to be involved with it. But I believe that that is a concern. Not only the gravel is sharp that can cut your feet, but it's also creating a slippery situation on the ramp. Now, it becomes personal because I had a good friend several years ago that because of the mud on the ramp, when he was launching his boat, his van went in the water also, and he was a plumber. Those type of things were brought out all the way back in the 1990 meeting about Riverfront Park, and that had to do with maintaining the mud and debris that gathers on the bulkheads in the ramp. How we address this, I assume that I'll be in touch with Mr. Crendel with these issues. Okay. I would have sent the information to Catherine, but she's out vacation. I want to compliment code enforcement for what you guys are doing. You know, almost 40 years with a phone company in the Norristown area, I saw stuff that wasn't right. And every time buildings collapse in Norristown, because this is my hometown, it just feels bad. I've always been out there to help with things that I can help with. All I can help with is the infrastructure, the grid, keeping the phones ringing so you can call 911. I see some issues with the utility poles, especially on Fernand Street, where they're tied up with rope hanging over the intersection. That worries me. Now, I only drive through there periodically, so sometimes the anger and the worry goes away by the time I get home and I don't contact you folks. But under the rules and regulations of the reliability standards that PECO is supposed to rely on, is that they're supposed to follow the National Electrical Code rules and regulations.
Excuse me, Mr. Waters. I'm going to kindly ask if you could please wrap this up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary, do we have any communication this evening?
No, we don't.
Thank you. Next order of business we have is Ordinance 19-07, which is authorizing the Montgomery County Redevelopment Authority to purchase various properties on East Main and DeKalb Streets. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Madam President. Council, as you're aware, for about 2 years ago, Council set out a goal for economic development as a part of its annual retreat. That economic development goal included the purchase by the Redevelopment Authority of some targeted properties for economic development in Norristown, and the council committed CIP funds to accomplish that goal. This resolution allows for and authorizes the Redevelopment Authority to make those purchases of those strategic properties on behalf of the council for future economic development purposes, particularly at the corner of Main Street and DeKalb.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Council, do we have any questions or comments? Seeing none, would a member of council like to make a motion authorizing the Montgomery County Redevelopment Authority to purchase various properties on East Main and DeKalb Streets? Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady, Hakeem Jones, Derek Perry, Rebecca Smith, Heather Lewis, Sonia Sanders.
Aye. The ayes have it. That ordinance 19-07 is passed and approved. Would a member of council like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Of course not. Hearing none, meeting is adjourned.